All right, big news coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi all set to leave now for Russia for the BRICS summit. Remember, this is going to be about full-on double diplomacy because Prime Minister Modi, when he'll be in Russia, the interesting bit will be if there is going to be a certain bilateral between specifically Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping, if that's going to happen on this. But this is going to be important. Remember, BRICS is very crucial, specifically at a time when we see the kind of geopolitical situations across the world and the ongoing wars as well. The kind of trade deals that are going to be discussed will be important. So that's the big news coming in, that the big BRICS summit that's coming up. This is the 16th BRICS summit that is being held in Russia. And remember, on agenda will be specifically one, as he's set to leave, that this will be the first summit of the group following the expansion last year. So while India views BRICS as crucial for global multipolarity addressing global challenges, the Foreign Secretary said that the grouping also serves as a vital platform. There are global challenges right now to ensure that there is a more fair international order, specifically when it comes to superpowers, global powers, and that is where perhaps India's role is going to play a big part. So we're going to focus primarily on what the BRICS summit is going to be about. I want to immediately go across to Geeta Mohan, our Foreign Affairs editor, joining us. Geeta, do you think this time, this BRICS summit is going to be as much about the big Western powers that are seen as superpowers compared to now also Russia and India gaining prominence on these issues?
Well, it is a very important grouping. Yes, like you rightly said, that it is a grouping that is seen as maybe a counter to the West, but we have from 5 countries now, there are 10 countries here, 2 very important ones that are involved in conflict and war directly. And so there will be a lot of conversations on that front. But yes, it has become a very important grouping. India's position in this grouping is very strong, and they hold very closely to, they pay very close attention to what India really has to say. We're looking at Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, the first 5, and then the newest members. It will be the first BRICS meeting with Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates. So Russia and Iran in the room, the 2 big conferences that are underway, are certainly going to be points of conversation. And yes, it is going to be a grouping that is going to discuss the problems that they face from the West, the problems that they see in the United States of America. Not the only country, but yes, one of those rare countries that has very good ties with both sides is India. So yes, India's position, not just in the BRICS, the SCO, as also in multilaterals that are West-oriented, such as Quad, is not just in fact growing.
Keep tracking all the latest on that. So this is going to be a big meeting. Remember, this BRICS summit, and all eyes will be not only on the summit but on Russia specifically and India, because in the 16th BRICS summit that will be in Kazan will be Russia playing the hosts. The meeting comes amid already a war that's ongoing between Russia and Ukraine, and it's been almost 20 months now. But as the worsening conflict in the Middle East as well, can that have an impact on this? Now, the suspense primarily will be on Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping's bilateral meeting, if that happens. Talks could be on the cards after India and China have agreed on petrol arrangements. Remember, barely a few hours ago, along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh. Amid all of this, Putin has expressed appreciation for Prime Minister Modi, and that is Prime Minister Modi's concern regarding the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Putin continues to acknowledge that Prime Minister Modi is a friend, expressing gratitude for India's support in seeking a peaceful resolution in the war.
Ambassador, what do we expect from the Prime Minister's visit? What's top on his agenda?
The Prime Minister's visit is taking place for participation in the 16th BRICS summit, and there are a number of issues that BRICS is handling today. Economic development, furthering economic cooperation between the member states, in cooperation for reforming the global institutions, including the Security Council, giving greater voice to the global South, handling climate change. These are some of the most prominent issues that the leaders are expected to discuss during the summit.
As far as India and Russia are concerned, the Prime Minister was here in July and then he subsequently traveled to Ukraine. He's met both the presidents. Is there some forward movement or likely forward movement on exploring a roadmap for peace in the region?
The issue has been discussed and spoken about. As you know, India has consistently held the view that the concerned parties need to engage and find a resolution to this conflict by dialogue and diplomacy. So I cannot prejudge what the leaders will talk, but I won't be surprised if this issue is also discussed.
The Chinese side is wanting to restore the relationship between India and China to what it was earlier. It wants the other aspects of the relationship like trade, commerce, investment to move ahead. It will, of course, take some time to restore the trust between the two countries, but at least I think a beginning can be made, and perhaps there might be a meeting at the topmost level between the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi, and the President of China, Mr. Xi Jinping, at Kazan in Russia. Now that the problems on the border along the LAC have been sorted out, I think there is a very high probability that our Prime Minister Modi, and the President of China, Xi Jinping, could have a bilateral meeting in Kazan.